All right, let's dive right in. So you've given me this whole stack of articles about women's rugby,
Yeah.
and it's obvious that you're interested in more than just like,
Right.
game scores and stuff.
Exactly.
You want like the inside scoop on.
I want the trends, what's
Yeah,
happening,
right.
what's changing the game both on and off the field,
Yeah.
especially as we look ahead to that
Yes.
2025 World Cup.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So we've got Olympic medalists like jumping between these different formats, sevens and 15s.
Right.
We've got like social media stars who are like switching leagues.
Yeah.
We've got players battling back from injuries.
Yeah.
I'm ready to unpack all of this.
Okay, great. So why don't we start with Ilona Maher's move to the Bristol Bears?
Okay.
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is making waves
Yeah.
in the Premiership women's rugby.
This is like a cultural moment,
Yeah.
it feels like.
It's a statement.
Yeah. It's more than just a player signing. It's like
They practically rolled out the red carpet.
they did.
For her, I mean, there were visa issues.
Right.
They appealed to the RFU.
Like they really went above and beyond to get her.
It shows you how committed they are.
Yeah. What do you think about that level of commitment?
I think it's unprecedented. I mean, teams are recognizing the power of star power.
Right.
And she's a brand. She's not just an athlete. I mean, think about her massive social media following.
Oh, yeah.
She could completely transform Bristol's reach.
Right.
Imagine the sponsorship possibilities if she brings a whole new fan base to the PWR.
I mean, it's already happening.
Oh, wow.
Their Instagram like doubled after they announced her signing.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. Okay, but where is she going to play?
Wow.
Everyone's talking about wing centers.
Yeah.
Even back row.
I know. It's the $1 million question. If she's on the wing, you're utilizing her speed, her evasiveness. For those
incredible highlight reel finishes. Yeah.
But in the centers, she could be the playmaker.
Yeah.
The linchpin of the attack,
Distributing the ball.
Exactly. Creating opportunities for others.
But she's got that physicality.
That's true.
So back row isn't out of the question.
No, you're right. She could be a disruptive force in the breakdown, winning turnovers, putting the opposition on the back foot.
Totally. But then would you risk injury for someone you've invested so much in?
It's such a tough call. It's a fascinating tactical dilemma.
It is.
Yeah.
Even her teammate, England fly half Holly Aitchison, called her an icon.
Wow.
And bigger than the sport.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
That's incredible. I mean, it just shows you the respect that Maher commands within the rugby community. And I think it also highlights the growing recognition that women's rugby is getting.
Right.
These players are becoming household names.
Yeah.
They're attracting fans who maybe have never even watched the sport.
Yeah. That reminds me of what we're seeing with the Canadian women's team.
Oh, okay.
Their one squad approach.
Yeah.
Where players are going back and forth between
7s and 15.
Yeah, seamlessly. And they're being so successful.
It's amazing.
But is it sustainable?
Well, that's a big debate.
Okay.
Within the sport. On the one hand, you have players like Olivia Apps.
Okay.
And Fancy Bermudas.
Right.
Excelling in both formats. So you see them at the Olympics, and then you see them in the WXV1.
Showing that versatility.
Incredible versatility and commitment.
But it's such a grueling schedule.
Oh, it is.
Are we asking too much?
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid concern.
Of these athletes?
Yeah. Jocelyn Barrieau.
Okay.
Canada's new head sevens coach.
Okay.
She's already looking ahead to 2028.
To the Olympics?
To the Olympics.
So she's got like a long-term vision. For this model.
Long-term vision.
Yeah. And she seems to be taking a page from Maher's playbook.
How so?
She was talking about how proud she is that her players are becoming household names.
Yeah.
So she's also focused on
recognition. Yeah.
Building that fan base.
Yeah. It's smart.
It is?
It goes beyond winning. It's about creating stars. It's about personalities that draw people in.
Okay, speaking of captivating journeys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Krissy Scurfield.
Okay.
Going from this devastating kidney injury at the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
To aiming for a spot on the 2025 World Cup.
Wow.
I mean, she's the definition of resilience.
She is.
But do you think her move to Loughborough Lightning is the right strategy?
I think it's a gamble. a calculated one.
Yeah.
She needs experience in 15s if she wants to make that World Cup squad.
Right.
And Loughborough is a perfect training ground.
But she's going from 7s, which is so fast-paced, free-flowing,
It's a totally
to this structured world
of
15s.
It's a massive adjustment.
It is.
And she's got to prove she can handle the physicality.
And the competition.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Imagine training alongside Emily Scarrett.
One of the best in the world.
She's got to, like, step up her game significantly.
She does.
Her coach was telling her to use her speed to run around opponents not into them.
I like that.
So he wants her to finesse her way to the try line.
Yeah.
Do you think that's realistic, given...
I mean, that's where her 7s background might help her.
Right.
And she's used to evading tackles.
In those tight spaces.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if she can adapt that to 15s.
And what does this move say about the Premiership women's rugby itself?
Well,
First Maher, now Scurfield.
Yeah.
Are we seeing this global shift in talent?
I think it's becoming a destination for these ambitious players.
Huh.
The quality of the competition is high.
Right.
The visibility is increasing. And teams are willing to invest.
In top talent.
Yeah,
so it's not just a domestic league.
Right.
It's a global stage.
It's a global stage.
And that's a game changer.
It is.
For the sport as a whole.
Absolutely.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We need to see how these players adapt
to
this new environment.
It's this new environment and how their presence impacts the league.
In the long run.
In the long run, yes. Yeah. It'll be fascinating to watch.
It will.
These are just the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to unpack.
Oh, yeah.
As we dive deeper into this world of women's rugby.
Buckle up.
Buckle up.
We're just getting started.
Yeah.
It's really amazing when you think about, like, the physicality of this sport.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Krissy Scurfield and that kidney injury.
Right.
But even beyond that, like...
Even in the day-to-day?
Yeah, just the wear and tear.
Yeah, the demands on their bodies are incredible.
It makes you really appreciate...
It does.
Like, the grit and determination.
Yeah.
Behind every, like, try and every tackle.
Yeah, they're pushing boundaries.
They are.
And not just on the field.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I mean, women's rugby has always been about breaking barriers, challenging perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
These athletes are trailblazers. They're paving the way.
For future generations.
The future generation.
And that resilience.
Yeah.
It resonates, like, far beyond the sport.
It does.
It's about facing any challenge head on.
Yeah.
Refusing to be defined by your limitations.
Yeah. You know, that spirit of defiance.
Yeah.
It's captivating. And it's one of the reasons why the sport is experiencing this phenomenal growth.
Okay, so speaking of growth, I'm curious about the impact this is all having on, like, the traditional powerhouses of the sport.
Right.
So, like, New Zealand, England.
Yeah, the ones who've always been...
They've dominated.
At the top.
Yeah. Are they feeling the heat?
I think so. I think the landscape is definitely shifting.
Okay.
I mean, look at Canada.
Yeah.
Silver medal at the Olympics.
That was huge.
Huge statement.
Yeah.
And then their performance at WXV1 proved it wasn't a fluke.
Exactly.
Other nations are investing heavily.
Yeah, to catch up.
To close that gap.
So New Zealand and England still formidable.
Oh, they're still forces.
But they can't just
rest
on their laurels.
They cannot rest if they want to stay on top.
Right.
This rising tide of competition is only going to push everyone
better
to elevate their game.
And that's what makes it exciting.
That's what makes it so exciting.
I mean, for the fans.
The fans, yeah.
More thrilling matches.
That's
unpredictable outcomes.
Unpredictable outcomes, yeah.
Okay, so what factors are going to determine who rises to the top?
I think talent development is crucial.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
It's about establishing those clear pathways for young athletes. You have to nurture those skills.
Okay.
From grassroots programs all the way to the elite leagues.
So it's not just finding the talent. It's like...
It's cultivating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Providing access to top-notch coaches.
And resources.
Resources. Yeah, absolutely.
And let's be real here.
Okay.
Money talks.
Financial backing is huge.
Nations that are investing in these teams.
Right.
Offering competitive salaries.
Support systems.
Yeah, support systems. They're going to reap the rewards.
Reap the rewards.
Because it allows those athletes to
focus.
Focus solely on their training.
In development. Yeah.
Knowing that their basic needs.
Knowing their needs are met.
Yeah.
And it attracts top talent.
From all over.
From all over.
Yeah.
So it creates this virtuous cycle of growth and improvement.
So it's talent resources, financial support,
It's multifaceted.
Yeah. But there's another element.
Oh, okay.
That I think we need to explore.
What's that?
The role of coaching.
Oh, coaching.
Yes.
Huge.
The bedrock
of
any successful team.
We've seen, like, the impact of Jocelyn Barrieau on the Canadian squad.
Yes.
Like, her vision, her leadership.
Yeah.
It's taking them to
new heights.
New heights.
Absolutely.
And how about Tom Luke?
Oh, yeah, at Bristol.
At Bristol.
Going above and beyond for Ilona Maher.
Yeah, he recognized...
He saw her potential on and off the field.
It shows that behind every exceptional athlete...
Often there's a
good coach.
A guiding force.
A mentor.
A mentor pushing them.
Yeah, and investing in coach development.
Oh, that's key.
Is just as important as player development.
It's about creating... a culture of excellence.
Where coaches are...
Empowered. Supported. It benefits everyone.
Right, because when coaches are equipped... their players thrive.
The sport progresses.
Yeah, it's like throwing a pebble
into a pond.
Yeah.
The ripples just spread outward.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay, so speaking of ripples...
Okay.
Let's broaden our perspective.
Okay.
And think about, like...
the wider societal...
the wider impact... of this sport.
Yeah, it goes way beyond the pitch.
Yeah.
What happens on the pitch?
We touched on gender equality.
Yeah.
Community building.
Right.
But there's like so much more.
There's layers to this.
Yeah, to unpack.
Yeah.
One thing that really stood out to me in these articles, like...
What's that?
The camaraderie.
Oh, the camaraderie.
Among the players.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's a sisterhood.
A sisterhood.
It's a network of women who uplift each other.
Who empower.
Empower each other.
Yeah, they celebrate.
They celebrate the triumphs.
The triumph.
And they offer support.
Yeah, during the setbacks.
During those tough times.
And that solidarity...
Yeah.
It goes beyond the rugby field.
It does.
Influences their lives.
It inspires others.
To build those. Supportive networks.
Yeah, and it challenges this, like...
This age-old
stereotype of women as like rivals.
Right.
Instead, it's like
collaboration
and respect.
Yeah, and the physicality of the sport.
Yes.
That's huge.
For so long.
Yeah.
Strength and power
have been seen as masculine traits.
Yeah.
But women's rugby
flips the script
completely.
It shows that women can be both.
Fierce competitors.
Graceful athletes.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
For young girls.
Especially.
Who are often told
what it means to
be feminine.
In these like narrow boxes.
Right.
About shattering
those boxes.
Yeah. And embracing like the full spectrum.
Spectrum of female potential.
Yeah. It's about owning your strength.
Yes.
Physical and mental.
Refusing to be defined.
By expectations.
By those expectations.
Yeah.
And that empowerment.
It
can ripple outwards.
Communities.
Impacting communities.
Absolutely.
It's about fostering a culture.
Where
girls and women
feel confident.
Capable. Unstoppable. And that can lead to...
greater equality.
Yeah.
More opportunity.
Yeah.
For women in all areas of life.
It's a reminder that sport is more than...
It's a catalyst.
Entertainment, it's a catalyst.
For social change. And women's rugby is leading the charge.
It is.
It's challenging those norms.
Yeah.
Inspiring a more inclusive and equitable world. Yeah,
that's...
Those are powerful words.
They are.
Yeah.
But as we celebrate these achievements,
right,
I think it's important to acknowledge the challenges.
Yeah, that still exist.
Of course, progress is never a straight line.
It's not.
There are always
obstacles
and barriers that we have to overcome.
Like what?
Well, one that keeps coming up is the lack of media coverage.
Compared
to the men's game?
Yeah.
If people aren't even aware of these athletes and their stories...
Yeah.
How can the sport reach its full potential?
It's a good point. Increased media visibility is crucial.
It's crucial.
For attracting new fans.
Sponsors, investors.
Yeah. We need to be showcasing the skill.
The athleticism. It's a passion.
The passion of this sport.
To a wider audience.
Yeah.
And that requires effort.
From everyone.
From media outlets.
From broadcasters.
Fans.
Everyone. We need to demand more coverage.
Share those stories.
Share those stories.
Generate that buzz.
Generate that buzz.
Yeah.
And social media is so powerful.
Social media is huge.
For this. We've seen how athletes like Ilona Maher
yes.
are using it so effectively.
So effectively.
To connect with fans.
Build their brand.
Advocate for the sport.
Advocate for the sport.
Sharing that engaging content.
Yeah.
Reaching a global audience.
It's a masterclass.
It is.
In using those platforms.
To raise awareness.
To raise awareness.
To attract new fans.
Attract new fans.
And we need to support.
We have to support.
These athletes who are
using their voices.
Yeah, who are using their voices to promote the sport.
To promote the sport.
Amplify their message.
Share their stories.
Share their stories.
Hey, Brian.
Engage with their content.
Engage with their content.
Yeah, and we can contribute.
We can all contribute.
To the growth of women's rugby.
Exactly. It's about creating that groundswell of support.
Showing the world.
Showing the world that this sport is a force to be reckoned with.
On and off the field.
On and off the field, yes.
It's inspiring.
It is.
To see this momentum building. To see how these individual stories, these global trends are coming together.
For shaping the future.
Yeah, to shape the future of the sport.
It's really amazing.
But we can't shy away from the complexity
and the challenges
that still lie ahead.
Progress requires vigilance.
It does.
And a willingness
to confront those uncomfortable truths.
Those tough conversations.
It does. And to advocate.
And to advocate for
meaningful change.
Meaningful change.
One challenge that keeps coming up.
That keeps coming up is
the gender pay gap.
The gender pay gap?
In rugby.
It's still there.
Yeah. Despite the progress.
Despite the progress.
That's been made.
It's a reminder.
It is. Goes beyond just
participation.
Yeah.
It's about making sure that women
are valued.
And
compensated fairly.
Compensated fairly for their contributions.
And that requires a systemic overhaul.
It does.
We need commitment.
From governing bodies.
From governing bodies.
Sponsors.
From sponsors.
From teams.
From teams.
To prioritize
pay equity.
Pay equity.
Yeah. It's about acknowledging.
The
economic realities
that these women face.
Many of whom
are struggling.
Demanding training schedules. With part-time jobs.
With other commitments.
Yeah, it's about creating a sustainable environment. Where these women
can pursue
their athletic dream. Without facing financial hardship. And it's about recognizing
that investing
in women's rugby
is not just
a moral imperative.
It's a smart
business decision.
Because
as this sport grows in popularity,
so too will
its commercial value. So sponsors and investors
who recognize this will reap the rewards. We need to move beyond those tired arguments of lack of audience or limited marketability.
The data is clear.
Women's
rugby is on an upward trajectory. It's attracting a diverse
and engaged
fan base.
And
that fan base is only going to grow.
As the sport gains. Greater visibility.
On the global stage.
It's an exciting time.
It is an exciting time.
To be a part of this.
To be a part of this movement.
To witness this progress.
To
anticipate these changes. This progress requires constant effort. A willingness.
To challenge the status quo.
And
push for
greater equality.
Both within the sport.
And beyond. We need to keep these conversations going. Keep those conversations going.
Shine a light.
On the triumphs.
And the challenges. Make sure those voices
are heard. Yes.
Open dialogue. Critical analysis. Shared commitment to progress. That's what's going to shape the future.
That's what will shape the future.
Of this sport.
Where this sport thrives.
And inspires
generations to come.
Well said. Let's take a short breather.
Okay.
Before we dive into the final part.
Sounds good.
Of our exploration.
I'm ready.
Wow. We've really covered a lot.
We have.
In this deep dive.
Yeah.
I mean, from like star players to global trends.
So the financial side of things.
Yeah. The financial realities.
Yeah.
But I want to zoom out.
Okay.
even further now.
All right.
We talked about the impact on the sport.
On the sport itself.
But what about like the wider ripple effect?
The ripple effect.
Oh, how is this sport changing the world?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really interesting because it's about more than just wins and losses. Okay. It's about shifting perceptions and creating a more inclusive
future.
Yeah.
We talked about the camaraderie.
Yes.
Among the players.
Among the players.
But I think that sense of community extends beyond the team.
I agree.
Like the fans, the supporters.
Right. They're all
part of this
movement.
Yeah, and that sense of belonging.
That sense of belonging
could be so powerful.
It can.
Especially for women who
haven't always felt welcome in these spaces.
In these sporting spaces?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it creates a space
where they can just be themselves. Celebrate their strength.
And challenge those
outdated ideas.
Those outdated ideas of what it means.
Of what it means to be
feminine.
Feminine.
And it goes back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
About the
physicality.
The physicality of the sport. Like
for so long, strength and athleticism
have been seen as masculine traits.
Yeah.
Women's rugby turns that
on its head.
On its head completely.
It shows young girls that they can be powerful.
They can be fierce,
competitive, and still be
feminine.
It broadens the definition of what's possible.
Yeah, and those ripples extend.
They do.
Like outwards.
Yeah.
Impacting everything.
Impacting self-esteem.
Yeah.
Career aspirations.
Suddenly, like a young girl watching these athletes might dream of being
anything.
A surgeon.
An astronaut,
anything.
Yeah.
It's not just about rugby anymore.
It's about empowering women.
To dream big.
And pursue
their passions.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that Nelson Mandela quote.
Oh, yeah.
Sport has the power to change the world.
Powerful words.
He was talking about racial barriers.
Right.
But I think the same principle applies
here to gender equality.
Yeah, women's rugby is breaking down.
It's breaking down those barriers.
And creating this
more equitable.
And just one scrum at a time.
I love that. And it's not just happening on this grand global scale.
Yeah.
It's happening
in community.
On
school fields.
In living rooms.
Where
families are gathering to watch these
incredible athletes.
Athletes compete.
Yeah, that grassroots impact is so important.
It's about changing hearts and minds. One conversation at a time. And that's where you, the listener,
come in.
Yeah.
This deep dive has given you knowledge, insights, and maybe
a newfound
appreciation.
Appreciation for this sport. Yeah.
Now it's your turn.
To share it.
Advocate for it.
Support these athletes.
Yeah. Go to a match.
Buy some merch.
Tell your friends. Every action.
Every little thing
contributes
to this movement.
Because ultimately, the future of this sport
is up to all of us. Not just the players. The coaches and the organizations. It's a collective effort.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
To leave us with.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
On this deep dive.
It's been a privilege.
Into the world.
Exploring the sport.
Of women's rugby.